Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Today's episode of Frankenstein Control is sponsored by the City of Sterling. This new burgeoning tourist destination will be the first on every traveler's list once the pandemic is over. Yes, come to scenic Sterling, Virginia, home of history, where it comes alive. See for yourself in person the Safeway, the 7-Eleven, the 5,000 apartment blocks that just got built last week, and the data centers that are big, gray, and ugly, and they make you cry. Come to Sterling, the most affluent region in Virginia, even though there still isn't really much to do here. Sterling, Virginia, home of the spinning shrimp.
I love that shrimp and how it spins.
It's true. I will say it's a pretty good thing.
I'll sit in the cul-de-sac and just watch that spinning shrimp up in the sky.
There's even less to do here now that the movie theater and the mall both close.
Yep. There's if you can't go to the Alamo, why are you even in Sterling? Get out. Run away.
There's nothing here to do but have your car robbed.
Welcome to Frankenstein Control.
I don't know why I said that.
I'm your host, Taylor Russell. To my left is famed car thief Ada Ship.
Hi, I steal cars, not to resell them illegally. I just like to turn them into... I'm so tired, I can't make jokes.
She's tired because she hasn't gotten her kleptomaniacal rush from thieving vehicles. And
I need to steal a car or else I'll fall asleep.
So you can't steal a car.
She loves to find the most expensive vehicle she can and steal it and then wrap it around the nearest tree in a high-speed collision that she runs away from unharmed.
Yes. I do all those things.
Without wearing a helmet. It's amazing you don't have brain damage, Ada.
Probably do.
And in front of me, as always, is B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and I'm the physical embodiment of the color gray.
Oh!
I don't know why I said that either. It's the part of the night, folks, where our second recording session rolls around and we're a little bit more manic than normal because we are exhausted. My voice is shot from coughing my goddamn lungs out. Like so. And Ada hadn't slept. Ada hadn't slept in a long time.
I did sleep, but it didn't do anything.
And Taylor's foot is fucked up.
Yeah, and then that made me not get a lot of sleep either. So, just the foot pain kept me up all night. And it's not gout this time. Shocker of the century.
Taylor's just laying in there.
It's a whole new, wonderful foot problem because, god damn it.
Taylor's just laying in there. Ah! Oh, my foot!
No, it was mostly just I got up at 3 in the morning and I was just like, I need to do something about this. I can't take it no more. And so basically I was up and I went into the living room and watched Ada play Bloodborne instead of solving my problems.
You watched me get mad at Bloodborne.
Yeah, that game looks like a heck of a treat.
It is. There's so much stuff in it that's really fun and really cool and really good and just it's a joy to play. And then you meet a dog or some asshole with a stick and he just fucks your day up and you're like, why did that kill me? It's some skinny little corpse man. Why is him swinging at me once going to kill me in one hit? I'm wearing a candle snuffer on my head. I should be invincible.
Pretty sure you're a member of the Catholic Church now, Ada.
Oh, yeah.
Kippa can induct you himself.
All Bloodborne characters are Catholic.
All Bloodborne characters are scarred for life because they're in Bloodborne.
Yes. Well, speaking of, we've collectively, our friend group has been on a vampire kick recently. We watched several supernatural movies. We watched the Van Helsing movie, which we mentioned last recording session, and a lot of that movie just looks like it takes place in the Bloodborne town because there's miserable looking civilians in drab ratty clothes carrying melee weapons as they shuffle aimlessly around with grim intent fixed upon their faces, and they just look hostile and have a vaguely non-Victorian Edwardian, what's the top hat shit, whatever that is, whatever that aesthetic is, Dickensian. Dickinsonian? I don't fucking know.
Comment in the comments about what time period top hats were.
Yeah, when were top hats? That's the time period. Top hats and blunderbusses and sickles and shit.
And guys with pitchforks that run at you and go, "You're not wanted here! You!"
That's just America.
Plague-ridden rat!
Don't forget.
Once again, that's still America.
Yeah.
Don't forget Van Helsing's pump-action blunderbuss and machine gun crossbow.
That Browning 30 cal of a crossbow he had.
It was great, though. It looked awesome.
If even as religiously zealous as people were in the time period that movie is supposed to take place in, if they had the technology to have a crossbow like that, they would be like, you know what? We need to use this against the Portuguese or some shit. You can't have this to shoot a vampire with. We're trying to colonize an empire build over here. Here's a stake and a hammer.
Yeah.
I have also been on a vampire kick because
You watched Blood Plus?
Yes. Oh, man, I don't remember shit about Blood Plus. I remember watching most of the series, and I don't remember shit about that show.
There was a man, and he was tall.
There's always a man.
And he had a coffin, and he threw the coffin at people. That's what I remember.
He did throw the coffin at people, and he was the man what were on every piece of clothing at Hot Topic for about a year.
He was like really tall from what I remember, or maybe just the lead female was really small. Either way, it creates that, kind of grody sort of imagery where you're uncomfortable because it looks like she's a little girl and he's a big man.
And she had that sword, what with the weird extra bend in it. It was a katana with that extra bend up by the hilt. The Suba.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Fuck, why did I think that was the Kill La Kill sword? It's not.
Yeah, the Kill La Kill sword is just half a scissor.
Yeah. Vampires.
But yeah, you were watching vampires?
I was watching
Vampire the Masquerade?
I was watching Vampire the Masquerade. I was watching, Melissa and I started watching What We Do in the Shadows, and that's a relatively old show by this point. It came out in 2019, but it's been on my radar to watch for a while. We finally put it on, and it's fucking fantastic. It's my new favorite show, and it's extremely fucking funny.
Okay.
Not least of all because it has the hilarious, inimitable Matt Berry. I would say he's inimitable, but Taylor can imitate him pretty well.
I assure you be right that I cannot.
That had a little bit of Sean Connery in it.
I assure you be right that they can... I died of COVID.
Oh, God.
He's dead. Demonetized.
You saw the reviews of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and just...
I'm going to go shit in a room and never emerge.
Did you say I'm going to shit in a room?
Yes, that means both things when Connery says it.
He died on the toilet like Presley.
Yeah.
Too much heroin.
You know who directed that show, right, B-Rai?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, good old Taika, that's how you spell RC. He fucking did it.
And there's an episode with the Vampiric High Council where the three guys from the movie reprise their role as visiting New Zealand vampires, like on the council or whatever. And it's like, oh, it's the guys from the movie. That's cool.
Hey.
Because the show is not about the same characters from the movie. It's about three new characters who live in America. And it's this married couple and their housemate. They have two housemates. There's the married couple is Nadia and Laszlo. Laszlo being played by Matt Berry, and then they
Camp
live.
Laszlo.
Then they live with Nandor the Relentless, who's they call me Nandor the Relentless because I just do not relent. And he was like a soldier in the Ottoman Empire and shit.
Oh my God,
it's pretty funny. And then there's the best character on the entire show, Colin Robinson, who is a psychic energy vampire. And he is like the most boringest, blandest, like whitest looking guy you could possibly imagine.
Wait, that's a show where he trolls people online and gathers the energy?
Yeah, and he also just like trolls them in person too. And he just like initiates extremely boring conversations and like feeds off people's psychic energy. And he's like, we do this in a couple of different ways, and it shows him at his office job, like walking around the cubicles just pissing people off. He's like, we either bore people with extremely pointless conversation, or we enrage them. And he's like sharpening a pencil until it's nothing. And like the and this woman's like glaring at him. And he's like, chances are you know a psychic vampire. We're the most common kind.
That's great.
And he's an excellent character. He's really funny. They get a lot of mileage out of him. He can also walk in the day, so he can like do errands and shit for them and like rescue them when they there's a couple of situations where they like need to be rescued and they need like a person who's like a bit more of a regular person to do it, so it's always him. And,
what's his name?
Colin Robinson.
That's a very, very
normal
chill name, too.
Yeah. And it's always like, you know, it's like Nadia and Laszlo and Nando and it's Colin Robinson. They always like full name him. And then there's Guillermo, who is Nandor's familiar, who really, really wants to be made into a vampire because he was obsessed with Vampire the Masquerade. Mm-hmm. And he's like always, he's like they're hapless.
The video game or the board game or the RPG?
No, fuck, I'm confusing it with the books. The what are those books by
The Vampire Diaries?
Anne Rice? Is that? You know what I mean. Maddie would know.
The Vampire Diaries.
With the Tom Cruise was the vampire in the Thing, and everyone liked him.
Oh my God, what was it?
Helsing, that's what it is.
Helsing? No, it's not.
And
Stop being a liar.
He shoots people with the 454 Casull handgun.
Stop being a fibber. We'll cut it out.
No, but he's obsessed with that, and he's basically like their hapless butler and servant, and does all their dirty work and clean up and shit for them, with the promised reward of being made into a vampire.
So
that
he's
just
like a
never
vampire
happens.
intern?
Yeah, he's a vampire intern, and they never make him into a vampire. And he just gets progressively angrier about it the whole series, and like tries very hard to he doesn't like that he's harboring feelings of resentment, so he tries to push it down. And all of the characters are extremely fucking funny, and it's just, the writing is so good, and it's really funny. One of my favorite jokes that really made us fall in love with the show, and it does a lot of stuff where it shows old, really realistic looking art of the characters, like from a medieval tapestry that's like clearly one of them or some shit, and like lithographs and stuff from like old like German manuscripts, but it's like clearly them, but it's really well done in like the style of the original artwork.
That's great.
And they get a lot of humor out of that. And one of the jokes that really made us laugh in like one of the earlier episodes that made us fall in love with the show was Nadia was talking. She was like, in my village I had a lot of strikes against me. For one, I was a woman, and two, I was of Romani blood. And she's like, and no one liked us, and we were poor, and she's like, we had to sit around the fire and then burn the donkey dung for warmth. And when the dung ran out, we had to burn the donkey. And you just see like this fucking donkey laying on the fire.
Oh my God.
They're just like warming themselves around it, but it's like in a woodcut art, like from some like the Middle Ages.
That's great.
And
that's good.
a lot of episodes in the first season revolve around the fact that they've been visited by this vampire called the Baron, the Baron Afanas, who is this like vampire royalty guy who they like. It'd be like, you know, your boss coming over for dinner, basically. But they have to roll out the red carpet for him and
red carpet.
Make him feel welcome. And he has like a very low opinion of humans, and he thinks that vampires should rule all humans, and doesn't understand like what's taking them so long to conquer Staten Island where they live. And they're like, we're going to have to show him we can conquer so he won't kill us. And, like, we only rule this street and part of Ashley Street. And they're always trying to you know, make their accomplishments look good for the Baron and hope that he just like fucking leaves them alone. And he's played by Doug Jones in full Doug Jonesian makeup.
Excellent.
In his full Doug Jonesian glory. And it has a lot of guest stars that are like pretty impressive, and it's really fucking funny.
Is Patton Oswalt, like, is he a barista?
I wouldn't put
in like one scene, and you're like, oh my god, I missed that. That was Patton Oswalt, and then you look, and then it's me, but I shaved, so no one could tell the difference.
It's you, but completely hairless.
Yeah, me, but completely just like Patton Oswalt.
You
completely bald.
Back when you trimmed your beard before you let it go full mountain man in COVID.
Oh my god.
Matt Berry actually, like, you look a lot like Matt Berry. I've come to realize that now.
Oh, Mr. Rye, I take that as an extreme compliment.
As well you should, because he's fucking hilarious. Matt Berry, in his like extremely dramatic, overacting way that he delivers everything, like, I would pay to hear him read the phone book like that. That would be fucking hysterical.
I wonder if he's done any audiobooks.
You know, God, I hope he does. That would be great. You got to figure out which book he's done and listen to that one. That'd be great.
Jones, Percival, 703-555.
Yeah.
You can just listen to him read Atlas Shrugged.
Ugh. I saw some motherfucker the other day driving around with it was like a Jeep that I pulled up to next to at a red light, and they had a bunch of fucking bumper stickers, and one of them said, "Who is John Galt?" And I was like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know who that is.
Who is John Galt is in either Atlas Shrugged or The Fountainhead, whatever fucking BioShock prologue that Ayn Rand shat out. One of them, perhaps both. I think it was The Fountainhead. I think, but I'm not sure, and I don't care. But all the libertarian. Oh, bless you, Ada.
Ayn Rand makes me sneeze.
Yeah, as well it should. That's your body trying to rid itself of toxins.
Yeah.
But all whichever one of the books it is, all the libertarian cool kids, as a code phrase to each other, use the term "Who is John Galt?"
Yeah.
And I think that one of the shitheel guys who thinks up the new way of doing things where you reject altruism and are a horrible money-grubbing piece of shit middle-class person who doesn't understand struggling, like that. Whoever he is, there is a central person in the plot who keeps doing Banksy style, like, painting "Who is John Galt" in places,
well,
and it like stirs up the movement or whatever.
I hate to interrupt, but like with the doesn't understand struggle part, here's the thing: they do understand struggle.
Uh-huh.
It's just that they choose to turn their belief towards my struggle is not my fault. It is the fault of, pissants who take my ability to make money off of them, away from me, through taxes and all this other kind of shit. If I didn't have to pay taxes, I'd be fucking rich. When like, no, you fucking wouldn't, you dipshit.
No, you wouldn't. And it's the people above you who are screwing you.
Yeah, it's the people above you that would benefit the most.
Yeah,
from this, the fucking flat tax bullshit system that you think it's gonna fucking help. No, it's not. Yeah. It's not.
But who is John Galt is an obnoxious Ayn Rand phrase.
Who is James Golf?
Who is Mike Jones?
Who is, I think what is it? I think BioShock was created by a guy who was sick and tired of his libertarian neighbor.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to create the exact world you want, fucker. And everybody's going to play it on the Xbox 360 coming out now.
And it all goes to shit.
Get it 1 week early at Walmart because they fucked up the inventory.
Yeah, when V-Rye and Taylor went with their freshman dorm bus trip to Walmart, and they had accidentally put it out on the shelf early.
Really?
Yes, and we played BioShock a week before it was supposed to come out.
That's cool.
Because we bought it immediately when we were like, fucking BioShock! It's just out! It's not supposed to be! Don't tell them! Let's buy it!
Don't tell them! Say you're buying Barbie's Horse Adventure, whatever it takes! And that's how we bought Barbie's Horse Adventure. And it was a lot more violent than I thought it was going to be.
There's a lot more people getting killed with giant drills by diving suit men.
That game had Giga Drill Breaker before Gurren Lagann was even a glint in some Japanese director's balls.
Oh, that's another thing. I said this quote earlier off recording, and it made Ada laugh really hard, but Nadia, at one point on What We Do in the Shadows, turns this... they're originally eyeing her as like a virgin to eat because the vampires like to eat virgins and whatnot. So they like find these like D&D LARPer kids.
Oh,
and they're
so like clearly they have to be virgins. Look at them.
Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna eat them, but they notice that all the guys in the group are really shitty to the one female member of the party, and like it really bothers Nadia. It, like sticks with her, so she decides to like help her out. So she ends up turning her.
Oh.
They're just like college kids from the local like school or whatever, and she ends up turning this girl, and then she's like teaching her how to be a vampire. And she's like, "You must seduce me." No, that was the spy reference. But she's like, I'm going to teach you how to like seduce people to, get them to pay attention to your charm so that you can drink their blood in classic vampire fashion. And she's like, pretend. She's like, I don't think I can. And she's like, no, it's okay. You pretend I am a normal human male. Ow, my balls. I love to drink beer. I just love the ow, my balls. I love to drink beer.
A thought occurred to me, like several thoughts in rapid succession, where I was like, yeah, virgins. Because, and then I was like, man, virgins are used in a lot of supernatural shit. I wonder why that is. Oh, it's probably because of a tainting of purity. Why is that even a thing? That's stupid. That's dumb. Why don't they ever make a thing where, like, people are searching for male virgins to do their cult shit? Oh, it's Hocus Pocus. They do that in Hocus Pocus.
The 90s did it.
Yeah, 90s did it.
He lit the black flame candle. He's a virgin.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why the boy's fucking getting tracked down is because he's a virgis. Well, along with other things such as the cat voiced by Max from a Goofy movie. James Marsden has a great voice. I can't blame him.
John Marsden, Miss McFarlane.
Oh, not Miss McFarlane, not John Marsden, you hootenanny. What if people call each other in Western times?
Varmint.
Varmint, that's a good one.
Various slurs.
Various racial slurs.
That's
that I don't
also true. What else? Tumbleweed fucker?
That's a common one.
Well, they go, oh, what is it? Fuck.
You look like a bullshitter.
There we go. Thank you. God. My memory is hurting me these days. I'm having... Oh, God. Noises.
I got Arthur Morgan's TB.
Oh, that's right. He does have tuberculosis, and that's why he's dying of in the game.
Yep.
Although you can just keep him alive forever by not finishing it.
That's what I do.
Just like John Marston. You can keep him at his ranch with his family happy and alive forever if you just stop playing after he gets his farm back.
So this is minor spoilers if you haven't played both games, but the games are old at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway.
One significantly more than the other.
Yes, but the entirety of... a lot of pain and suffering in Red Dead 2 and the entire game of Red Dead 1 could have been skipped if there's a mission early on where you have to save in Red Dead 2.
It's a prequel
which is a prequel to Red Dead 1.
Which isn't confusing at all.
Yes. There is a very early on mission where you have to go spring the worst character, Micah, who is a massive asshole I wanted to shoot the second he opened his mouth because he's just a douchebag. And like the entire time Micah has ever done anything, I'm like, Micah is the guy that if he were in a group of people that I was with, I would just abruptly shoot him in the back of the head without warning. I'm not going to... He's actually dangerous, so I'm not going to like actually challenge him, but I can tell that he's enough of a problem that you got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And he's a huge douche. And... he's actually, I think, a poll ranked him as Rockstar Games' most hated character ever.
Wow.
He's a very effective and well-written villain, and he is actually kind of cool in his own way. But he's a shitheel.
Yeah.
And sometimes being the most hated character is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like if you want to write an effective villain, it helps that if everyone hates them.
He's a very effective villain.
But you gotta hate him for the right reason.
Exactly. And like I said, he is also like sometimes sort of almost cool. He's a gunslinger boy, and he's kind of neat. But there's a mission very early on in Red Dead 2 where he's been arrested for causing some shit in town, because he always causes some shit.
Yeah.
And draws attention to everybody and gets in trouble and murders innocent people. and you have to go spring him from jail because they're going to hang him for being a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And Arthur doesn't want to do it because Arthur doesn't like Micah because he can tell he's a piece of shit. Yeah. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And Dutch is like, he'd do it for you. And he's like, no, he absolutely would not. But because you are telling me to do and you're Dutch, I will do it. But let it be on the record that I'm not doing this because I like him.
You got it, Burt Reynolds. I'm going to go save Micah.
Yeah. And if you just let Micah hang, like
all of it
would have been prevented, and the first game would have been prevented.
Wow!
Because you beat Red Dead 1, right?
Yeah,
Taylor?
Of course I did. That's why I made all those references about John Marston living happily ever after, which is totally what he does.
Exactly. So So it turns out that Micah is a mole for the Pinkertons, who are after you the entirety of Red Dead 2. Like you're on the lam from the law the whole time. You're running from the Pinkertons, and it turns out Micah's been a mole for them the entire time. And the two Pinkerton agents that he reports to are the two FBI guys who kidnapped John Marston's family.
Oh shit!
By that time in the future, they become FBI guys.
Wow!
And so that's who he reports to. And after Arthur dies and you switch to John, basically it does come out eventually that Micah's a betrayer and a shitty person. Mm-hmm. And so Arthur and John confront Micah. And if you're Arthur, like there's a cutscene where they either one of two things happens. If your honor as Arthur is low, Micah will actually kill him in that cutscene, and then you immediately switch to John.
Oh, wow.
And if your honor is high, John and Arthur succeed in driving Micah off. And then Arthur just dies of TB later. But
you can't win.
No, you can't win.
You can't win. What do you think this is?
But then there's a time skip to a period of time right before the first game came out.
Oh, so Red Dead Shippuden.
Yeah, so John, Red Dead Shippuden. So John Skye has his farm.
John Skye.
his farm and his nice house with his family that you remember.
Shit, it's the before time.
Yeah, it's the before times.
Wow.
And so like one of your other gang members is like, "Yo, I found Micah. Do you want to go fucking get him?" And John's like, "Fuck yes, I want to go get him. He's an asshole.
I want to get him as McFarlane to watch the kids."
So they track down Micah and shoot him, and
that's good.
Then the Pinkerton guys basically show up and they know that it was John who shot Micah. And then they're basically like, you killed our informant guy that we were going to use to bring in Dutch and the rest of the gang, and so because you killed him, now you got to do it. And that's why they kidnap his family, and that's why the whole game of Red Dead 1 happens. And if you just let Micah fucking get hanged, none of this would have been a problem.
Wow. Yeah. Remember, if someone's been an asshole to you consistently throughout...
And people are going to hang him?
Yeah, throughout your entire existence, if someone's just been an asshole to you consistently... let them die.
Yeah. All right, Charlie.
If they've got themselves in immortal danger, it's okay to let people die sometimes.
Yep, tippity tap.
They're complete fucking assholes who could. But then again, all of those guys in the gang are assholes to begin with because they're fucking rootin' tootin' shooting cowboy bandits.
Rootin' tootin' shooting lootin'.
So like
criminals.
It's kind of like it's kind of like what do we call it? Like pirate movies.
Yeah.
You find yourself wrapped up and like rooting for rapists. you're cheering for sea rapists. Whoopee!
There was a really old, awful SNL skit where it was like somebody marketing. It was like a infomercial, but like in the 1700s. And the device that they had invented like clamped down on coins. It was like a fake set of dentures that bit down on coins to tell if they were real or not. And they were marketing it to a bunch of pirates, and they're like, how many times does this happen to you? And it's all the pirates biting their coins to see if they were real or whatever. And the lead captain sees the invention and he's like, oh, this'll save us hours of time, boys. Now all the time that we used to spend biting coins, we can spend raping.
Oh, no!
They just immediately go there. And you're just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, make no mistakes, kids. Pirates, they're bad. They're not very good. There's not many Monkey D. Luffy's out there.
Yeah.
Not in the real world. The real world is full of sadness and shame.
And Blackbeards.
And, by the way, B-Rai, I've been in talks with the creator of VeggieTales. Yeah, I think I got something going. I got a pretty good idea for a movie that we're going to work on together.
What's it called?
Spud Meridian.
Oh, I love it. Is the judge just a giant... Is he just a giant russet potato that's been peeled?
He's a giant because potatoes are very bald looking.
Yeah.
So Judge Holden is Judge Russet.
And Toadvine the toadstool.
Yep. And the whole story is about them going through the Wild West, peeling the natives. Oh, help! Oh, God.
Oh.
Peel, boys. String ain't run on this trade yet. Half an hour later, the entire body of the dead had been peeled. The gang sliding about on a floor that had been packed clay but was now a wine-colored mud.
But was now a starch-covered mud.
Yeah.
It's beet juice.
Oh, Spud Meridian. Watch it in theaters this July.
That's real fun.
Just kidding. Don't go to the theaters. They're all closed anyway. Fuck it. I love how the Regal Center... Dana, do you remember that 1 week where the Regal Center near our house opened for a week and then promptly closed the fuck down again?
Yeah.
That was funny. It's I was just driving. I see the theater open. I'm like, oh, baby, what is you doing? And then next week, gone.
Yeah.
And it was just fuck, man. Was it really worth opening for Tenet?
Yeah.
They're going to open again for the Denzel glares at Jared Leto movie.
Jared Leto. That's okay. Once all this shit is over, there's going to be tons of people out there being like, we're going to buy this movie theater. We're gonna show Spud Meridian. It'll get all the butts back in the seats. That's what's going to happen, man. VeggieTales guy, fucking call me, dude. We're going to make Spud Meridian a thing. And it's going to be the worst shit everybody's ever seen in their lives. This has been Frankenstein Controls Atrocity Cavalcade signing off. Once again, sponsored by the City of Sterling. Come for the spinning shrimp. Leave because there's too many fucking people.
Leave because there's too much shrimp.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.